Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. 24 hours after Azerbaijan's army launched an offensive in Nagorno-Karabakh, ethnic Armenian forces have agreed a Russian terms for a ceasefire. Karabakh officials say at least 32 people have been killed and another 200 wounded since the Azerbaijani military launched what it called anti-terror operations. Azerbaijan's presidency said officials would meet Karabakh's Armenian representatives for talks on issues of reintegration in the Azerbaijani town of Yevlak tomorrow. One of the key demands that Karabakh forces have accepted is a proposal for complete disarmament. Evil cannot be trusted, that's according to the Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, who was speaking at the UN General Assembly as he urged the world to unite to end Russian aggression against his country.
Since the start of the full-scale war, the Ukrainian ports in the Black and Azov seas have been blocked by Russia.
In a passionate speech in New York, Mr. Zelensky said a nuclear-armed Moscow must be stopped from pushing the world to the final war. He also accused Russia of weaponizing everything from food to energy.
We know the names of tens of thousands of children and have evidence on hundreds of thousands of others kidnapped by Russia in the occupied territories of Ukraine and later deported. The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrant for Putin for this crime. And we are trying to get children back home. But time goes by. What will happen with them? What will happen to them? Those children in Russia are taught to hate Ukraine, and all ties with their families are broken. And this is clearly a genocide.
Meanwhile, Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu has visited the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Aerospace Force exposition. The Revolutionary Guard's Aerospace Force, Amirali Hajizadeh, gave Shoigu a tour around the exposition, showing Russian Defense Minister Iranian-made drones, missiles and air defense systems. During his visit to Tehran, Shoigu said relations between Russia and Iran have reached a new level despite opposition from much of the Western world. Most of the Spain team have agreed to end their boycott, that's according to the Secretary of State for Sports, Victor Francos.
La convocatoria y a la concentración de las 23.
The agreement was reached after more than 7 hours of meetings. Francos said the Spanish Football Federation had committed to immediate and profound changes. The players began the boycott after the then president, Luis Rubiales, kissed the forward Jenny Hermoso following Spain's triumphant win over England in the Women's World Cup final on the 20th of August. Gabon has been partially suspended from the Commonwealth after military commanders carried out a coup ousting the president Ali Bongo. The decision was made by Commonwealth foreign ministers meeting on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly. Leaders called on Gabon to uphold the values and principles of the Commonwealth. They asked the country to hold credible elections as soon as possible. Rwanda's President Paul Kagame has confirmed that he will run for a 4th term next year, which could extend his presidency to nearly 3 decades. Here, seen arriving at the inaugural Africa Climate Summit, he said, "I am happy with the confidence that Rwandans have in me." He has faced criticism from rights groups which have accused him of cracking down on opposition. Mr. Kagame won the last presidential election in 2017 with nearly 99% of the vote. Freedom rights groups say the vote took place in a context where free speech was extremely limited. And Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla have arrived in Paris for the start of a 3-day visit. The royal couple were welcomed by French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne upon landing at Orly Airport near Paris. During the trip, King Charles and French President Emmanuel Macron will hope to build on personal bonds to help turn the page on years of rocky relations between the two neighbouring countries. The King and Queen started their visit with a ceremony at the Arc de Triomphe. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.